Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, and we've seen some solid growth. I mean, we're currently on a weekly time frame here. As you can see, if we zoom in there, we've got two solid weekly candles, which we got above that EMA 200 and popped to the upside. So that is a good indicator of usually the general direction of the markets. But remember, we have not had any type of substantial pullback yet, which people might seem to think is going to happen soon. It's a complete guess game. As you can see, we've had two solid weekly candles here, but if you look in the past, when we were on a bull cycle, we had multiple closed weekly candles on the upside. I'm not saying we are in the bull cycle yet, but I think we're in the very early stages of it. And if you go back here, back into January 2020, before that major rally, we did have a push up. We had about 10 weekly candles if you go back to a year before a dump. And if you look at that, I'm expecting personally that we'll see a pullback in around January. But if you look at this in terms of a manoeuvre there from the highs to the lows, we did around a 60% drop. That would take a lot of people out. This pump now could be leading people into a bit of a false sense of security where we come to a certain level. I still think 41k is on the cards, 41 to 37 around that region. But we just got to take each day as it comes. For me, like I say, just remember, if we do see a pullback, so for example, if we get to 41k and you see a 61% pullback, that's going to bring you back down to around 15, 16k levels. I don't think that'll happen personally. We will see a substantial pullback, but I can't imagine it's going to be that big. One main reason for that train of thought is the fact that ETFs, we've got mass amounts of ETFs on the table now, and now that BlackRock is involved and they're wanting ETF, I just can't see the drawdown being as substantial as that. I never know, it's just a complete guess from me, but that's my thoughts. I do not see a pullback like that. I think if we did see a pullback around the 20 to 30, possibly maximum 40%, then it's just going to be a sharp wick down that gets filled up and it takes off. Something like this, we push up to maybe even this region around here, around that 45k, and then we have a nice sharp pullback. That's a potential what I've been thinking about. I want to have also a look at another chart, is the BTC USD chart. This is the one that's got pretty much the data back to the beginning. This is the Bitstamp chart, and that goes all the way back to the beginning. As you can see, I've got quite a few things marked out here, which you think, oh god, what's going on? But if you look at this two green here, that was the bear market in 2013, which saw 56 bars long, and we did retrace quite a bit. The red bars here, again, that was a bear market that lasted 52 bars, and then if you look to a previous one here, then that was around 56 bars. So for me, I think that the bearish phase is over, and now we are on the upward climb. I did put this chart out maybe a couple of months back and saying, which is your preferred option, A or B? And it is looking like B is that general direction where the market is going. And subsequently from that, we talk about a drawdown, and that's what we could see. Depends what goes on. If you look at these dotted lines, these are levels of support and resistance. It's quite a good indicator actually. Just go on support and resistance dynamic. And it saves you putting all the levels in for yourself, and it goes all the way down to the 1 second time frame if you want. But yeah, we've got a solid level of support here at 31,000, 32,000, as you can see in the past. If we just take a look here, major support around there, but support around there, and support here. So that's a level where I think could be that area where we may linger before any type of manoeuvre up. We could break through it, a bit of a false breakdown, and then push up like I've done here. But who's to say this run isn't over yet? I mean, it is looking a little bit wary at the minute, and the fear and greed index, if you look at that, that's shooting up as well. So we've just got to be careful. Usually the fear and greed index is one of the best signs of which direction the market's going to go in the coming months. I mean, if you're looking when it's 70 or 80, which is agreed, then in generally you're going to expect a pullback. I think at times in the past when it's been major bull market emotions, when it's been up to north of 80 and up to 90, and that does give you a good reason to sell. And then vice versa, if it's low, I mean, it's been down below 10 before. When it's fearful, that is a good time to buy. And it is just pushing up towards that greed area now. I think maybe a little bit more of a push, like say up towards the peak here, anywhere between 38 and 45 is an area where we probably will see a pullback. RSI is starting to push up as well. It's still not crazy high, but that's just something we've got to consider as well. When it pushes up to these, if you look in the past, we have had some drawdowns from the RSI being up there. So RSI and the Greed and Fear Index usually can give you a bit of an inkling to which way the market's going to go on the higher time frames. Remember, I'm on the weekly time frame here, so just take that with a pinch of salt. One other thing I want to take a look at also is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Some people say that TA doesn't generally work on the dominance, but I mean, look at that, where the textbook could handle with a breakout. What you're going to see now over the course of the next, I don't know, the next 12 months potentially, is a strong Bitcoin. You're going to see sell-offs, yes, but you're going to see a dominant Bitcoin across the markets. People are asking, where's it going to go? Where's it going to top out? Personally, I don't see it going up towards these levels we've seen prior. I mean, if you look at this here, Bitcoin hit on the 28th of December 2020. That was a year before, well, about around 11 months before Bitcoin went on to create its all-time high. It peaked. So if we're looking for something similar, I don't think we'll go there, because there's a lot more assets now which can take up quite a decent portion of the market. But I think personally that we can get up towards, I'm not going to look at that level, around here. I think there's a good chance we can push up to around 62 to 65%. And that could be somewhere around, if we keep going up, maybe around there of December next year. Then when that starts dropping, that's going to be a full-blown alt bull market. You're still going to see a strong Bitcoin. Bitcoin will go on to create an all-time high, but altcoins will really start to pull some market momentum back. And then in towards the end of it, then you're going to see major Bitcoin volatility. So for me personally, what do I think is going to happen? I think personally that Bitcoin is going to push up. Possibly not 45 like I've said and hit that area, but I think there's a good chance that it's still got more legs to go. And I still think we've got a couple of more green candles on a weekly before we really start to see any retracement. Just that's my guess though. If you look at the charts in the past, around November, December, we have seen some substantial pullbacks. So that again could be our point to potentially look to buy in the markets. But then again, leading into January and February, in that 2-year period prior to the all-time high or the end of the bear market, or should I say the bull market, you're really going to see some solid growth there too. So let's wait and see what goes on. What I want to do next is just have a quick look at the lower time frames and hourly here, and you can see we've got what you could call a bit of a pendant forming really, which I mean in general they can be quite bullish, and you could potentially also call that a bull flag in some cases. But for me, I'm always wary about pennants, and whenever I've looked for bullish moves, I always got some breakdowns. So just be wary that although it is a bullish formation, the fact that it's one of those patterns that doesn't generally play out. We could be looking at a potential move like this. We could come back down and retest that level, which is again a level of support there at around 34k, and then break up. Or we could have a false breakdown and then a break up. Those are two scenarios that I think may happen. I'd be more in favour, and I'll be over the moon if it just broke straight up and carried on, and that'd be something which I'd be looking to trade. But I'm just very wary of this pattern, so just be again wary yourself. Look for that breakdown, look for that fake out. I mean, even a 33,350 could be a fake out, and then watch that wick climb back up, and then hopefully send us up to those levels I've been talking about. So, and again, if you're looking at the RSI down here, that is around mid-ground, so we've got plenty of room to grow. I think it has been cooling off, hasn't it, over the course of the last 4 or 5 days. I mean, we had a bit of a strong weekend for Bitcoin, and then it's just been cooling off, and unfortunately some of the altcoins have been getting absolutely savage. I've been in a BNB trade and I'm about 30% down on that. Prior to that, I had a few link trades which were doing really well. So yeah, the last few days, as we've seen a sideways Bitcoin, people are starting to get a little bit hesitant, and unfortunately altcoins have been, I wouldn't say nuking, but those those 1 to 6 to 7% drops can really affect some of your trades when you're trading with leverage. So just be cautious as well. I'm not sure how many people are going to get to view this video because I've not really made much content recently, but I'm going to start to look to do more videos over the course of the next few weeks and start building up ready into that bull market and give people some levels to buy, some assets to buy. I'll be also taking a look at some new assets that have come on board over the course of the last 6-7 months, which I do think will be good for the future. I'm going to make a low cap video. There's a few assets like Genesis DAO, which I really like. I like Pair Swap, so I'll be making some videos on them. I'm just basically having a look at some of the technicals and the fundamentals, and then I'll be doing some requests too. I know a few people on Twitter have put a few requests out there, so I'll do them. But that's it. First video back in a while. Hope everybody's well. Smash that like button. Comment below if you want me to cover any specific asset, and I'll catch you next time.